I would like to introduce myself and my topic today. I will be sharing with you my experience about anti-patterns when it comes to being agile in terms of, of course, organizations and in terms of agile transformation. So it is like a bit continuation of what Konstantinos said, a bit, of course, because I'm not going to take about Scrum at scale. I'm talking about general mindset and patterns. So thank you, Konstantinos. It was a great speech as well. I was really listening to it with curiosity. First of all, I must say big thank you for inviting me here, for organizers, Bogdan and Brain Rain. It's nice to seeing you again and again. So I was really cool to serving at ScrumDay Ukraine. I believe it's third time or fourth time. I'm not sure, Bogdan, third or fourth time in a row. So I'm really happy again to keep our cooperation together. So those are anti-patterns that should make you alerted, and be careful why you are starting your agile way with your organization, whatever it is, your team, but I'm talking in general about organization, so also organizational level, not only like a simple several team level. So a bit about me. I'm a professional Scrum trainer. I have several licenses to teach. This picture is a bit outdated because I have another license, PSPO Advanced, to teach, and I'm sharing happily my knowledge as also and experience as an Agile Transformation coach. So I helped many organizations, and that's why I decided to prepare this presentation and share what I found in companies. So being agile, of course, those are some examples. What does it mean? Of course, we are talking about adaptation, market conditions and changes. Of course, we need to take into account risk and eliminate it early. Of course, everything is thinking about being flexible, about continuously improve, about happy customers, employees, and of course, about value. Absolutely. But when it comes to reasons, when I ask organizations, why are you going to become agile or apply some agile frameworks? Why? So those are like things I mentioned here, those examples are never spoken or very rarely spoken. So when is the moment of decision, we are going to be agile. So when is this moment of decision, it's without like conscious sometimes decision. Sometimes they don't know why are we going to be agile. Usually it's because it's fashionable, or another company or our competitors, they have it already applied. It's not all about it. Okay, we would like to deliver more. This is one of the reasons, but might be like a conscious reason, proven data reason. But when we deliver more and more, it doesn't mean that we deliver more value. It just doesn't mean we are just more efficient. It's not guarantee that we will deliver value or early eliminate risk or market conditions. We are going to follow the market changes. We don't know it without setting up some conscious decisions and proven data, which is very often missing. So my first question to the organization is why? Why? And just, you can ask also your organization, why are you going to adopt Agile? What is the reason for? Sometimes organizations are not in the complex environment. Sometimes they are in quite simple or complicated. Maybe agility there is not the answer, like a full agility, not the answer, because already they can be agile because of lack of those complex, serious problems they need to solve. Right now, I'm asking you, just a few seconds, just think, you are here for some reason, right? Reason is probably you are interested in Agile, or maybe your organization is adopting Agile, or you have Agile adopted already. So just ask yourself a question. Why we are moving towards agility? What is the reason? A few minutes for you. Those examples, that should be the answer, or maybe you can find different answers, of course, why you are going to change. But agile transformation is not easy and often requires radical changes. And we are moving towards the first anti-pattern. Organizations think that, okay, we are moving towards agility, so today we are agile, or the separate team, we are agile. But the whole environment is not agile completely. They don't understand it. So first thing is we need to take into account mindset, and we need to change it, not only mechanically implemented frameworks like Scrum, for example, or Nexus, or maybe Scrum at Scale, or maybe something different or less. Not about mechanical implementation. It is, of course, process is important, absolutely yes, but without the understanding, whole understanding, the mindset, is really hard to change anything. And we can also train people do everything so they will understand, but the rest of the organization will be stopping us, preventing us from moving towards the change. And we need to take into account this effort. So when you are talking with C-level, top management level, director level, whatever level it is, like a high level, we need to be transparent and say, okay, sometimes it's possible, but sometimes we will need radical changes in the, for example, hierarchy, or how the organization is set, and also in our mindset. So we cannot combine like waterfallish approach still with agile approach, because this is what Konstantinos, absolutely, he said it in the previous speech, that would be like the fake agile. And it is like the most harmful thing, because we think, we assume that we are agile, but we are not. And there are no benefits coming from it, from this approach, like a mixture or some hybrid approach. So we must be prepared for radical changes, unfortunately. So we are not going to stay in our comfort zones. So this is the first anti-pattern. No need for change or reorganize. When the organization is quite simple in terms of their structure, setup, hierarchy, maybe like there is no need for huge changes. But when the organization is a big corporation, sometimes we need to change. Very often what I've observed in companies, business is separated from IT. Not only in terms of structure, hierarchy in the organization, different departments, but also in terms of the mindset. Sometimes they are fighting or compete with each other. We are not going to have some valuable increments, products, and happy customers with this approach. So there is not only all about having changes in the org structure. It is all about changing in the mindset. We need to change. Sometimes we need to, yes, we agree, but we need to reorganize, because without it, it would be extremely hard for moving on and moving towards our goals we have, like agile goals, of course. So there is no staying in the comfort zone again. This is all about hard work and changing people mindset. And also, there is also important that we need to have understanding on all levels, starting from the top level, like a C-level, middle management level, and teams level. Because when something is missing, or some level is missing the understanding why we are doing agile transformation, why we are going to become agile, why we are going to implement in some teams maybe Scrum, in some teams maybe Kanban, maybe extreme programming, whatever framework it is, or like Kanban method. So it needs to be like synchronized on all levels. It cannot be separated. Like, for example, sometimes I can see with successful transformation starting bottom up. So from teams level, we have some pilot, we have an agreement with this team or those teams. We are working on some product, and okay, the value can be delivered, and we can show to the top management guys, we were so successful in terms of delivery using agile frameworks. Okay. But sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes it's not enough. So we need to reach the C-level and ask them for their support, for maybe some executive team that supports our organization. It is really important to have them, to have their buy-in. The same with middle management. They can stop our agile transformation, unfortunately, because they are afraid, just simply afraid of being maybe redundant or maybe like not needed anymore. But it's not true. They are crucial in the agile transformation. So we really need to work on all levels to have their understanding, buying, and supporting decisions. Anti-pattern number 2, not fully implemented agile frameworks, like for example, Scrum, extreme programming, or maybe coming from Lean, Kanban, or maybe different frameworks you might have, like Nexus, Scrum at Scale when it comes to scaling. I was talking, excuse me, I was talking a bit in the beginning of my speech that hybrid solutions may be harmful. So you are assume we are agile, but we are not. For example, when it comes to Scrum, so what we can have? We may have Jira, we may have daily Scrums, and we are assuming that we have Scrum, but we don't. We don't have it. The important thing is to deliver value each sprint. The important thing is to also being empirical. Agile frameworks are empirical, really very suitable for complex environments. And when it comes to those lack of those empirical approach and focus on delivering value, we may end up with only mechanical Scrum, a bit of effectiveness, maybe not. There is no guarantee. And we are not talking about effectiveness, we are talking about value delivery. And when you have like only several frameworks, parts of it implemented, it's not really not enough, because we are losing this awareness about value, about empiricism, about what those frameworks are really, and what is their reason. Not only mechanics, not only, you may have even the whole framework applied, but without transparency, inspection, adaptation. So empirical approach without value delivery, you may end up with nothing, with like only mechanical zombie Scrum sometimes. And I'm referring here also to other frameworks. That's why I said as an example, Scrum, okay, but can be something different. So be careful without it, and to think about what our values and principles are standing behind this specific framework we chose, and why we chose this framework. Not because it is fashionable, but because it is supposed to help us resolve complex problems in business. Yes, in business problems, and also to help us show what's not working, what are impediments in our organization, not only in teams, but also in the whole organization. So Scrum and other agile frameworks are perfectly designed for it. It is not all about solving everything. So Scrum or other frameworks are not the remedy for everything, but they are revealing us all troubles we have, or issues or impediments we may have in our organization. And anti-pattern number 3. Low focus on customers and value delivered. So very often agile organizations, they claim they are agile, they are focused only on delivery. Delivery, not value delivery. Feature, task, items, user stories, whatever, delivery and again delivery. So efficiency, effectiveness is their most important part, but we can deliver even 100 features per week. And what does it mean? We can be even overloaded with unnecessary features. We can spend time and money on working on things that are maybe valuable, maybe not, we don't know, without measuring value and without ordering our product backlogs, whatever, our list to do in terms of value and risk, we will be really ending up with a bunch of unnecessary not needed features. So what you can do, you can ask your customers, or when you don't have like direct access to your customers, what you can do, you can ask, for example, marketing or sales department, how our customers are using our product, what do they like, what they don't like in our product, what features are the most valuable features. And based on this, you can make decisions, further decisions for the future, for the next features, what to implement and what to not. So low focus on customers, it is really important anti-pattern. You should avoid it, really. Always think, even if your organization is divided between IT department and business department, you can always try to make connections with them. If it's with the reorganization, with this structure is not possible. When the hierarchy is high, you can always try to work closer with or customers or departments that are really close to your customers. Even if the product is internal, so like internal systems for like managing employees or for HR, for example, or for finance departments, those are customers. Users are your customers, even though they are internal. So we need to also deliver them value. So be careful only on it. Delivering more and more doesn't mean it is valuable. So what to do instead? I shared already some tips what to do. Maybe I can extend my answer to it. So you must be conscious about and aware that changes are really necessary to make your organization flexible. And that's really important to just realize that, because we are not going to send one decision or the second decision and everything is done. No, it's not. It's not. It's a constant work on changing the mindset. So, for example, in one organization, I'm not sure if I can share the name because I'm still in some contract relations. So I have NDA signed with many organizations. So probably I will not going to share names of the organization. So sorry about that. I'm transparent, but I can share what's happening in those organizations. So in some organizations, when I visited them, there is a huge buy-in from the top C-level. Oh, it's okay. So maybe quick share, because I believe the time is up almost. So when there's the support from the top level, it's really like moving towards the really fast Agile transformation. When you have the full support, and when you only work with teams and C-level, also be careful what I said before about middle management. They must be also aware why we are changing, and they must feel safe in this change. So become an Agile leader. You must become an Agile leader and support whole levels of the organization. When in some organization, when you have only buy-in from top management and no buy-in from middle management or from teams, you may end up with very top-down but command control directive transformation. And that's not working when this situation is going to be forever. And focus on what matters, on value, on customers, and implement Agile frameworks empirically and with principles, values in mind, not only with this mechanical background they have. Okay. So I believe that's all, because time is up. And I would like to thank you very much for listening to it. And I encourage you to ask maybe some questions, but Bogdan, let me say if there is any time for questions and answers.
Yes, we have time for few questions. So we have one statement from Annette, I think. She said that I guess anti-pattern number 3 is a huge problem, also due to the harmful divide between business and IT.
Yes, I agree. It is a huge harmful divide. So there is the short time box to share like many examples from organizations, but what we did in the organization, one of the organization that was very successful, Agile Transformation, we just have product owner from business side and teams from IT side, of course. But also we ask, for example, lawyer to join just for a few sprints our Scrum team, because we were creating also at the same time Agile contract. So it was really needed to have this lawyer on board and have a product owner from the business side. So we had direct access to customers, to everything you can imagine, all measures, metrics regarding, of course, business part. And it was also very important for development teams, because they felt like, oh, okay, we know something about our customers. It's like wonderful idea to have it, and we would like to know more. So they became more creative, because they could see the result, the real result, not only in their code or architecture, but also from the business perspective, from the customer perspective. And then also for different products and different teams, we had product owners always from business part. So this is one of the possible solution. Yeah.
Thank you. We have a combination of the questions from Igor. It's how we can become agile leaders, and should we pass an exam on PAL-E maybe on scrum.org.
Yeah, it's really helpful. I like the whole class and the PAL-E exam, because it's like changing mindset in terms of agile leadership, but also try to implement it in the organization. So when it comes to agile leadership, what does it mean? In very short words, it means that you are changing your mindset from, or the leader changing the mindset from command control, like really micromanagement style, into the agile leadership, I mean servant leadership. So you are putting your teams as first, and then myself. So my needs, my willings, and my career in this term will be secondary. The primary thing is my team and their needs and their development, like both professional development, personal development, everything included. And you can help them. So you can helping not only teams and giving them delegation as more as you can. So for example, starting from simple decisions. So let them decide about something really simple. And then also you can give them like the more advanced, more difficult decision to make. There is another thing, you are starting working with organization as an agile leader, not only promoting Scrum and Agile together with Scrum Masters, but also you need to help them remove impediments, organizational level of impediments. Sometimes Scrum Masters are not able to remove impediments on their own. They need some help, especially from middle management. Majority of impediments, they can be resolved by middle management layer.